Hi, welcome to the first in a series of 5 blogs where we're going to shed some light on the stack and tilt swing pattern. So first question, what is stack and tilt? Well, stack and tilt is a mechanically simpler way of swinging a golf club based on fact, not opinion. Unfortunately, traditional golf swings tend to be quite complex movements, and as a result players struggle to find consistency irrespective of how much practice, how much money they spend on equipment, how much time and effort they put into the golf swing. So stack and tilt differs quite substantially from this in the fact that it's a mechanically simpler way of swinging a golf club based on fact, not opinion. The stack and tilt swing pattern is based around 3 fundamentals that truly separate the better golfer from the average golfer. Traditional teaching would have us believe that the true fundamentals are things such as the way we aim the golf club, the way we grip the golf club, and the way we stand to the golf ball. And yet when you observe players at the highest level, you see that there's a lot of different ways of doing these things. Now, fundamentals suggest that you must do them. Now, we must do them. Why are we seeing so many variations in the way they're done at the top level? We see players with neutral grips, strong grips, weak grips. We see players who aim the club to the right and the body to the right, aim the club to the left and the body to the left. There is no standardisation in regards to the way players stand to the golf ball. So what stack and tilt have done is redefine golf fundamentals. 3 very important things that are apparent in every good golfer. The first fundamental in the stack and tilt swing pattern is the player's ability to control where the club strikes the ground. This is going to ensure solid contact. What we tend to see with a lot of club golfers, particularly beginners, is on the way back, the weight moves to the right, and as a result, as they're coming into impact, they tend to bottom out behind the golf ball. This bottoming out behind the golf ball leads to the player catching the shot heavy or hitting a top, depending on how he or she reacts through the hitting area. So fundamental number 1 in the stack and tilt pattern is to learn to have the ability to strike the golf ball, then the ground. We're going to try and hit the ball first and then the ground. The better the player, the more consistently he or she strikes the ground out in front of the golf ball. Fundamental number 2 is the ability to generate sufficient power to play the golf course effectively. Now, in order to generate power, what we would ideally want is the golf club to be swung in a circular manner around the body. And yet what we tend to see with club golfers is a golf swing where the arms are working very much up and down. The third and final fundamental is the player's ability to control the curve on the golf ball. Now, this is derived from a number of things, mechanical improvements, but also understanding ball flight laws. Things that, again, we've been taught in the past that since the sort of introduction of high-speed video camera, launch monitors, etc., we now know are to be incorrect. So for a player to control the curve of the golf ball, he or she must make mechanical changes, but also understand ball flight laws. During the next 4 blogs, I will elaborate further on the 3 fundamentals just discussed. I'll also try and give you some ideas that are going to help your game dramatically based on the stack and tilt swing pattern. However, before we do that, let's take a look at 3 changes you can make in your setup that are going to help promote solid contact and help you to produce a draw. So let's take a look at some changes we can make at setup in relation to the stack and tilt pattern that can help you make more solid contact and produce an in-to-out path that's required to get rid of your slice. Well, first of all, what we're going to do is going to start from the floor up. The first change we're going to make is, instead of having the feet square, we're going to flare the feet out at about 20 degrees. Now, the effect this has is that it frees up the hips. If the hips can turn better during the backswing, we have a much better chance of swinging in a circle, which is essential for power, and we also reduce the effect of the movement off the golf ball. It's going to discourage such a big move off, which is going to encourage you hitting the ball more solidly. The second change we're going to make is in regards to the weight distribution. So with the feet turned out about 20 degrees, we're going to just put a little bit more weight on the left side. Rather than having the weight 50-50 and the ball forward, which is going to encourage us to bottom out behind the golf ball, we're going to have the ball just a little bit further back in the stance and the weight about 55% on the left side. Straight away with the ball further back and the weight further forward, it's much easier to hit the ground in front of the golf ball. And remembering the three fundamentals, what we're trying to encourage is a strike on the ball where we hit the ball, then the turf, because that's the big difference between, or the number one difference between the club golfer and the elite golfer. So with the feet flared out at about 20 degrees, the ball just back an inch or so in your stance, and just a little bit more weight on your left side, feeling that you've got about 55% of your weight there. That's going to encourage a more solid contact and encourage us to swing a little bit more in a circle as well. So just to recap, the three changes you've made at setup are: flare the feet out at about 20 degrees, position the weight 55% on the left, and just move the ball back in the stance an inch or so. So there you have a little insight into the stack and tilt setup and how you can apply it to your own game in regards to making more solid contact and hopefully trying to get rid of that nasty slice that's been plaguing you for so long. During the next blog, we're going to be looking a little bit more at the stack and tilt backswing. Between now and then, if you need any further information on this or any other golf related matter, feel free to contact us or visit the site www.hotwoodgolf.co.uk. Thank you.